Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Supreme Court in its landmark judgment yesterday reversed the remission order of 11 convicts in the Bilkis Bano case, giving her a big relief. But what does this verdict mean for women, women empowerment, and also for those women whose rape cases have been pending for years? Joining me now is a very special guest, social activist, writer, academician. She's also the director of the Center for Social Research, and she's also the chairperson of the Women Power Connect. Ranjana Kumari joins us. Thank you, ma'am, so much for joining on the Federal. And
thank you, Neelu, for having me.
Yes, my pleasure, ma'am. And I've been wanting to talk to you since yesterday, since the time the verdict came. And what really does this verdict mean in terms of the fact that do the lives of women change from here on? When we think about their safety, when we think about how women stand by each other in times like these.
Well, one thing is very clear, that for women to get justice, it's a long haul. It took 22 years. And also when she won the case and these people were convicted, the remission was granted to them. And now it's very clear. At the time when remission was granted, the whole nation was shocked. All of us were very, very unhappy about the judgment because, knowing well that the committee reported, everything was crystal clear before the court of the crime, the gruesome nature of crime committed by these men. And that is why they were given the life imprisonment. So this was all very clear. But then how, two things. One, that, manipulating the judiciary, and also by using the political influence, how this kind of a judgment can come where remission was granted. So that's another thing. It's not easy for women to get justice. It's a long haul. It's a big struggle. You have to be really having the courage of a steel to be able to fight. And also that there is no guarantee that the justice will be finally delivered to you. But this judgment, it's welcome the judgment. I'm very happy that finally, because this is going to have a long time impact. It's not something which is just in case of Bilkis Bano. She's fought on behalf of women of India. Actually, she is symbol of the struggle that a lot of women are going through in the country. And this is what this judgment now is going to be, a kind of, closer to the fight and the struggle that we are seeing.
Right. But of late, there have been a number of issues like the women wrestlers issue. How many women stood by those women wrestlers? Then we saw how there were violent activities against women in Manipur, despite the fact that the Women and Child Development Minister is a lady. We have a president who is a lady. Not that I'm saying anything against the president, but when these women heads do not speak for the women, what kind of a message does it really show? Because during Nirbhaya, we had a chief minister who was a lady, who was Sheila Dikshit. And we did see a lot of women coming out on streets, whether it was teenage girls, college-going girls. The entire band of women was out on the streets, for the Nirbhaya movement. Those kind of movements are now missing. It didn't happen in the case of Bilkis Bano also. So what is this commentary, where women at one end are talking about women empowerment, and then they refrain from speaking for women?
Well, Neelu, you put three questions to me. One, of course, is why the women in power and women who speaking will make a difference, who can really influence the process or can really support the process of justice to women, why these women are silent. And also, if they speak, what will happen? If they speak, certainly a woman like Bilkis Bano or many, many Bilkis Banos of this country will get the support. They will get the kind of courage. And also others will realize that, look, these all women are together in it, and we cannot afford to fight back. So to fight with or to discriminate against such women, or to really inflict sexual assault or any other kind of crime on such women. So the message would have been loud and clear. We are very it's unfortunate that women are feeling so much bound by their own political compulsions, or perhaps the rule of the game that they are not able to play effectively, being in power. They are silent about it, and I don't blame them, because their total future, because as you know that there are such few women in political power that their future depends on the hands of these bosses of the political party, and they cannot afford to really go against their wishes and desires. So, but then if they will show the courage, then certainly they are going to lead the society towards a better situation for women, and there'll be a quantum jump in terms of the struggle that we have been fighting to get justice for so many years. So, but it's unfortunate. So the second question, that why women are not getting mobilized. Why? I mean, myself, my whole team, we were at India Gate for 4 chilling nights, and throughout the year, still Nirbhaya got justice. We had every 16 December program organized with parents of Nirbhaya, and every which way we try to put pressure on the system to deliver justice to Nirbhaya. And why it is not happening for money? We are speaking. We in the women's movement have the voice, and we are speaking at the loudest possible voice. But perhaps the kind of environment that we are at the moment in the country, not many are paying attention to the civil society organizations and also to the women's organizations' voices. In the same way we have been doing it in our democracy. So I feel that there is a kind of distance that the state or the government is keeping from the civil society and women's organizations. So naturally, we are not really able to increase and to be able to fight back. But let me tell you, we did go to meet the fighting wrestlers at the Jantar Mantar. We also expressed strongest condemnation of what has happened in Manipur. It's different that, all the media channels used to be available to talk about what we have been doing and how we have been fighting. And it's not the same. It's not only for us, but the whole, leadership of women's movement in that sense. Now, the third thing about Bilkis Bano case, I must say that you cannot say that nobody supported her. I think starting from taking the case in the very beginning till now, till going back to the court, to Supreme Court, filing the writ in the court, that so many women went, and so many writs were filed to challenge the judgment of the Gujarat High Court. So people have stood by her, but nothing like the way she and her husband, two of them stood like, and husband stood like a rock behind her to support her. And they really, really finally got the kind of judgment that should have happened in the first round itself, but they got the judgment. Yeah.
But Ranjana ji, there is a certain dichotomy when we see the behavior of women. When we were traveling in Madhya Pradesh recently, there were a lot of women who were praising BJP. That look, BJP has provided the Lakshmi, the Ladli Lakshmi, the Ladli Behna scheme. They were very, very happy that they were getting an emolument of 1,200 rupees every month. They were very happy with Shivraj, and that's exactly the reason why Shivraj government is back in power. I mean, the BJP government back in power, not Shivraj. But on one hand, we see this kind of a phenomena. On the other hand, where we see, like you see the statements which came out yesterday, where Priyanka Chaturvedi and a lot of opposition leaders, women opposition leaders, they said that this verdict has exposed the anti-women face of the BJP government or the Modi government. Now, do you see this as a dichotomy? On one hand, Modi ji tries to reach out to the women through all possible schemes, but he doesn't stand by certain sections of women. He doesn't seem to be loud. BJP doesn't seem to be loud. The BJP ministers don't seem to be loud when it comes to supporting certain sections of women. So is this a dichotomy which you see?
Well, to the extent that welfare is responsibility of the state. Welfare schemes that have been brought in for women, or the, Labharthi schemes where so many women are benefiting by governments giving grains to each family, each individual member of the family. Poorest of the poor has been looked after. So these are the responsibilities of democratic state. wherever, globally, you see that how people elect the government, and then government, of course, supports a lot of, through these schemes, the people who are really deprived, underprivileged, and the people who are suffering. So in that sense, all these schemes are most welcome. Let me say that. And also that this is really helping a lot of women in the country to not only, because when men earn money, they go and blow it off by drinking, and they're not able to take care of the nutrition and the health of the family, whereas all these schemes have in the hands of women, all these things are helping. Men are not getting this money, women are getting this money, and they're happy about it. It is perfectly fine. But when it comes to growing violence against women, you see NCRB data, there is so much increase every day. Femicide in India has increased, where women are being killed by the living partners, cut into pieces, all kinds of, so much is happening. And in response to all that, what we need is not only good, better policing, but a better trained policing systems. Policing system has to walk a few more miles to be able to respond to these kind of crimes that are happening on women. On the other side, also, you see this kind of injustices being inflicted. I mean, Gujarat government has been called taking this order fraudulently.
Yeah.
So what do you say to that? Gujarat government has no
Why I asked you this
jurisdiction.
Specifically, Ranjana ji, was that you just made a mention of Gujarat. I'm wondering how many women today in Gujarat or elsewhere in the country will stand up that, look, BJP government has been unfair to a woman like Bilkis Bano, and therefore we will not vote for BJP. How many women will stand up and say this? I'm just wondering. Just
Yeah,
making.
I think, I think the one-on-one relationship in a given environment in the country between what women's perceptions are and how it converts into political vote are two different things altogether. If to understand, as a political scientist, I can explain that to you that, look, you have to look at the way women are experiencing justice and the way certain section of women have been delivered no justice, or have been denied justice, or are being delayed justice. So I think, so certain sections of women, because the society at the moment is experiencing unprecedented situation where two sections of people are being, not being seen as living in the same kind of harmony, in same kind of religious togetherness, and as it used to be in society. For whatever reason, there's a lot of hate which has come into our system. And as a result, everybody is now, so the whole country is Ramamay at the moment, I mean, I would think that Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram was Gandhiji's favorite bhajan. When he died, the last word he uttered was Hey Ram. So Ram has always been in our system. Ram has always, but then to politically politicize this whole religious thing has never been as open and as as we are seeing it now. So most of the women coming from the kind of background that they are coming from, and majority community women, are not really going to see this, that Bilkis Bano was denied justice, and so it's not going to convert into political vote. And do you know that in the assembly election, 4% more votes were polled by women in favor of BJP?
Yes.
In all the states, not only in. So I don't see this, there is one-on-one relationship at this moment in terms of delivering all kinds of justice to women and giving goodies to women, right. So and then getting it converted, and then of course sentiment.
But doesn't this look like a double-faced character? On one hand, you talk about giving lots to women, but then at the same time, you also derelict certain portions, certain sections of the women. So is this not like a double face?
On the one side, women reservation bill was passed, but on the other side, nobody knows ever it will get implemented.
Yes.
You understand this? So this is a very smart, astute political stand where you say you are giving, but actually the person has received or not is not really being seen, not been assessed, not been, that impact assessment is not there. So I agree with you that there is a kind of problem that, I mean, we are seeing that politics of promises and politics of delivery are two different things. There are lots and lots of promises being made, but how much is being really delivered, perhaps the history will tell us. At the moment, there is an euphoria. At the
Right.
moment, there is a kind of, thing that everything is happening is very good.
Right.
And so we will see how it really all fans out in the long run. And I don't see much impact at the moment. When I told you the data doesn't speak
Right.
for employment
Absolutely.
of women, health of women, women's violence against women. When you look at political, I mean, immediately after passing the women reservation bill, state assembly elections happened. But there was not even a 0.1% increase in the number of seats. In fact, less seats were given to women
Given.
than
Yes.
traditionally they were given. So, where is really walking the talk?
Right. Absolutely. So what does really change after the Bilkis Bano verdict when it comes to the women, the lives of women? What does really change after this verdict?
Well, one thing is loud and clear, that you can't politically intervene in the justice delivery system. You cannot, manipulate rule of law. Rule of law will be established eventually. So there is some sense of satisfaction among, at least people like us, that we feel that eventually things will be right. So that's one thing. And secondly, also, of course, in Bilkis Bano case, you see the whole issue at the moment is that if these people who really were proven murderer and rapist, if they were released without having, and on the other side, we have a law where you say that whole life in jail. That's what the law prescribes. And then when you were given that punishment and then you let them come out on the basis of good conduct, I mean, and also that it is against the law of the land that you cannot have a rapist and a murderer released on the basis of good conduct. There's nothing like that. So in that sense also, that we do see that there's established law now, and law has been rule of law has been reinforced, and all this fraud which were politically manipulated has been really undone. But there's a question: the people who really engage themselves, that committee that was formed by Gujarat government, and also people who engage themselves in really manipulating and taking the case to especially that Radhe Shyam Shah's case, 2022. So what will happen to them? Is there going to be an inquiry? Because court has said nothing about that.
Right.
Court has not said anything about people who really were responsible for manipulation and fraudulent presentation of facts.
Right. So in the end, ma'am, if I could ask you that, of course, the Bilkis Bano verdict is a great ray of hope for the women. It restores the faith in the judiciary, but we cannot say that there won't be another Bilkis Bano, because challenges still are many.
Well, we hope not. We really pray not that there will be another Bilkis Bano, because what happened to her is unthinkable, unimaginable. Like, it is horror all the way. So hope not. But certainly, when we have a democratically elected state, we have people responsible for protection of women. We hope that, state will really take serious responsibility and not just make announcements and all kinds of promises which are not delivered.
Right. And one last question before I wind up the interview, Ranjana ji, that all the big talk about women empowerment, women's safety, women health, where is it really leading to, given the fact that the current dispensation and the political system in which we are living in? Is it really supplementing the women, or is it entirely derailing, whatever was done earlier?
Well, in many ways, we are seeing weakening of the institutions like National Commission for Women, and many state commissions for women are almost next to non-functional. We are seeing that police is not responding in the same way. In fact, much more now women are put in the saying that, oh, women are coming with fake cases. So that kind of narrative is going on at the moment, where women have been questioned for raising issues. So you can already see that, not only has been undone, but in a way it has been damaged. Women's struggles are not really in the same way, as you rightly said, that observed that there is a kind of flashback. Anything women are saying is not taken and believed in the same way that we have experienced that it used to happen. So I feel that we need to, again, we shouldn't give up. We will never give up. Women will have to still unite and fight for wherever there is injustice against them.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and more power to you. Country needs more women like you who speak up for the women, stand by the side of the women. Thank you so much. It was wonderful having you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this interview, subscribe to our channel, send us a feedback, and stay tuned to The Federal.
Subscribe to The Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.